Several years ago, I'm in the mall with my wife and I did not need anything. To kill some time, I walked into a fit to run store. If the sales associate said to me, "What brings you in today?" I would have said nothing. But she didn't say that. Instead, she looked down at my sneakers. She said, "Are you a runner?" I said, "Yes." She said, "What distance?" I said, "Marathon." And she said, "Have you ever had a running gait test?" Moments later, I'm on a treadmill. She pauses the frame and she said, "Notice how your feet are overpronating." I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "And did you know that if you run in sneakers that are not made for pronated feet, you can get injured on long distance runs? And if you'd like, we can check your sneakers to see if they're made for pronated feet." Moments later, I'm spending $180 on new sneakers and insoles. What's the takeaway here? The rep did not ask me about problems. Instead, she shined a light on the cost of inaction, the terrible, no good, very bad thing that would happen if I did nothing. This is the sales superpower for cold calling. If you're hearing "I'm not interested" far too many times, you are not illuminating the cost of inaction. So let me actually walk you through how to do it using something called the poke the bear cold calling methodology, at least the first few parts. By way of context, let's pick an example, a real company. Company is Tangibly. Let's talk about the cost of inaction. So imagine your Pottery Barn. Lots of people are coming to your website every single day looking for a couch. They can see the colors, they can see the descriptions, they can see the image of it, they can even see the measurements of it, but they don't feel confident because they don't exactly know how that couch is going to look in their house. And because of that, they don't buy. Retailers call this the point of pause, and it happens every single day to retailers. Costs them tens of thousands of dollars because of the lack of confidence. Tangibly solves this problem, the problem of the point of pause. How do they do it? They actually have the ability for you to go on websites, pick the couch and the color, and actually put it in the exact room you're going to put it in so that you feel more confident and pull the trigger and buy the couch. So now that we have that perspective and we know what the cost of inaction is, we can actually create a cold call script. Part number one is permission. You've seen this a bunch of times before. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but it sounds like this. "Hey, Becky, my name is Josh. We've never spoken before, but I was on your website and was hoping you could help me out for a moment." The psychology behind a permission-based opener is that when the prospect agrees, they're more likely to hear you out for part two because they want to stay consistent with what they said. Then we're going to go to part two. We're going to actually talk about the problem. And we might say something like this. Hey, Becky, I don't know if you saw the recent study by Gartner that stated that buyers are 8 times more likely to pull the trigger on a couch when they can actually virtually see it in their room. That's just a statement from a third-party credible source. A lot of times people don't buy it because they're not confident. We call that the point of pause. And I was just curious, poking the bear, how are you currently giving people the ability to virtually see what couches look like in their room? How are you giving people the ability? How are you enabling people to see what the couch looks like in their room on the Pottery Barn website? Then you're just going to shut your mouth. And what you're going to hear typically is people leaning forward and asking you some question like, "What's this about? What do you have? Who is this?" Because when you poke bears, you get them to think differently about how they're solving the problem today. So poke a bear instead of pitch. If this was helpful, there's a link in the comments with some more information. Have a good one and write your poke the bear script.